What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. And I think I might be choked. Oh, no, I almost forgot. It's the Chicago Bulls that choked in this game, ladies and gentlemen, as we faced the Atlanta Hawks, and we ended up losing the game in almost, I would say, borderline embarrassing fashion. At the end of the day, look, we normally have the best of Atlanta in most of the games that we play against them. It wasn't the case today, even though I would say we were the dominant team throughout the entirety of the game. One quarter is all it took, and Atlanta just absolutely steamrolled us in that quarter. We're going to talk about what went wrong because it was a pretty big deal in this video. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and their game against Atlanta, your player of the game, and what went wrong and what was a disaster class. That's the only way I can describe it. We lost this game, what was it, 141 to 133, so a 8-point loss in the end. But my goodness, if I told you how much Atlanta scored in the fourth quarter, you might just find it unbelievable. You know what? Many teams don't even crack 100 points within a game. Even the last two games that we played, I know we got 133 in this one, but both teams don't play a lick of defense anyway. So it seems like at the end of the day, that's natural, right? For both teams. But the last two games, we didn't even crack 100 points. Yet we're allowing a team to drop 50 points in a fourth quarter, no less, on us. That is, again, if I was probably doing a watch-along of this game, I would be furious, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very lucky I was at work when this happened, and I paid no attention to it whatsoever. I had something to take my mind off of something like this, because this is a loss that, even just thinking about it, frustrates the life out of me. I don't know how the Bulls let this happen. You know what? For the longest time this season, I have been giving respect to the Bulls where it's due in certain areas. One of those areas is that we haven't seen the Bulls truly crumble in a fourth quarter. I've given credit to guys like DeMar DeRozan last year, how building these guys up for fourth quarters. We had some of the most clutchest games. We played the most clutchest games in the NBA. You know, every single game pretty much was a clutch game last year. We had our cool and composure for most of the time out. But today, it just felt like a complete 180. It just felt like it was opposite day, if you know what I mean. What was a team that was so calm and cool collected in most of the fourth quarters that we played. I'm not saying we won every game because of the fourth quarter, but we didn't collapse in those games. And this one, it just felt we fell off a cliff, mate. We literally just dropped in the fourth quarter. It went from playing an unbelievable good game of basketball to, you know what? I don't want to play anymore. That's what it felt like. These players didn't want to play anymore, man. That's it. It's done. They probably thought that, well, they were up by, what 20 points in with 6-7 minutes to go or something like that? Something along those lines. Something crazy like that, and we let it slip away. This team dropped the ball. This team took their foot off the gas. And what's the number one rule you should never do in the NBA, especially in the modern NBA? You should never let your foot off the gas until at least the bare minimum they take out their starters. The bare minimum is when they take out their starters and they wave the white flag themselves. You should not be taking your foot off the gas. And that's exactly what we did. I'm sure there might be a couple of other reasons why they did a comeback. For example, Trae Young today was unbelievable for the Atlanta Hawks. 27 points and 13 assists on the night. Johnson with 30. Richer, I hope I said his name correctly, 16. Daniels with 15. Hunter with 25. Altogether, an unbelievable offensive night for Atlanta. And again, we didn't have our Hawks stopper in Io. Io didn't play today for the Chicago Bulls. And all of a sudden, Trae Young just goes off and has an insane game. But the Bulls had a good offensive night themselves. 37 points for Levine. 23 points for Kobe White with 9 assists to go alongside of that. Vucevic had 19. Patrick Williams with 11. I've been quietly impressed with Patrick Williams over the last couple of games. Javon Carter came out of nowhere. This man hasn't played in ages. Steps up today. 26 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds on the night. He was fantastic. Torrey Craig with 7 points. Jalen Smith with 8 points and 6 rebounds. So the Bulls held their own offensively, but we choked. That's the only explanation I can give to you guys. We just choked. we can take a look at team stats. We could take a look at the three-pointers. Atlanta only made 17 three-pointers today to the Bulls 22. We had shot a better field goal percentage. We took more shots than them on the night. Atlanta's free throw percentage was much higher, and I think they took a little bit more free throws than us. Much more. Wow, 34 to 6 free throws for the Bulls. Oh, wow. So, yeah, look, you could put excuses down to everything if you really want to. But I don't necessarily care what the stat differential is. I don't care that Atlanta had more free throws than us by over 30, it felt like. We choked. It's embarrassing that we allowed that to happen. And you know what? Normally, I would say, you know what? This is the first time we kind of collapsed in this situation. We can let it go. Move on to the next one. We got a big game against Milwaukee once more. We need to try and salvage something out of this week because we've started it piss poor. But I don't personally feel that way right now. I feel angry with the Chicago Bulls for dropping a game like that in the way that they dropped it. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel happy. I don't feel like, you know what, this is a learning experience. We can move on. I don't feel that way today. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the day I've been having, but I feel pissed off with the Chicago Bulls and how they played today. Not a lick of defense played whatsoever. Choke artists in every single way, form, and fashion in that fourth quarter. 25 points we gave up. We scored in that quarter, and they doubled it. Double it and give it to the next person. That's exactly what we did with the Atlanta Hawks. So, I'm sorry. This is not the typical, you know what, this Bulls team is young. There's still a lot to learn. We can move on to the next one. No, these guys have had practices in the fourth quarter. These guys have been in the trenches last year in the fourth quarters of games. So I don't care how young you are. I don't care how inexperienced you are in a game. I don't care how many times you play well in the fourth quarter. When something like that happens, it's hard for me to let go of something like that. And it's hard for me to just look beyond it. Maybe in a couple of days, simmer down a little bit, move on to the Bucks game, and just hope that we can pick up a win, and maybe all is forgotten then. But for now, that is a frustrating loss to take on. Fair play to Atlanta. Look, you got to give respect where it's due. I've actually enjoyed Atlanta's basketball a lot over the last couple of days. And you know me, guys. You know me. You know I don't like Atlanta's style of play. I don't like how Trae Young is just a pick-and-roll merchant. I don't like how they just use pick-and-rolls every single possession, and Trae Young is the only one that can facilitate on that team. I've never liked it. But recently, it's been working for them. So you have to give credit where it's due. They're above 500. They're a team that I've had big questions about. When we versed them early on in the season, I thought they were more lost than us. It looks like they found their way, and all I could do is sit here and respect that. Even though I don't necessarily always like how they play, when it wins and they win, you got to give respect where it's due there. And at the end of the day, it takes a brave mentality for a team to be down that much and continue to fight. So I do give credit to Atlanta for their victory today, just as much as I give criticism to the Bulls for choking a game that took place today. So it kind of goes both ways. Fair play to Atlanta. I'm sure it's not the last time we face them. And for the Bulls, we got to really look at ourselves and figure out how we prevent this from happening again, because that is an abomination of a game. And we should be ashamed of ourselves as a team there. It is not good enough. I also put it on the coaching staff as well. I don't normally talk about the coaching staff because, again, we have so many different unique players. It's hard to get a gauge of what the coaching staff is doing each and every single game. But if your team is putting the foot off the gas pedal and you can't find a way to get them back and put their heads in the game again, that's on the coaching staff in my eyes. Yes, the players should always feel motivated to play, and they should know not to put their foot off the gas. I mean, they play 82 games in a season. They should know not to let go of a game. But the coaching staff has to reiterate to them and put it in their heads, hey, we're kind of slipping here. You need to get your heads right. And I don't know. It just didn't feel like it ever took place in that fourth quarter. So I put it on the coaching staff as well. They got to be better. With that being said, normally I would give a player of the game like this to Zach LaVine, but I'm actually going to give it to Jevon Carter today because I didn't expect him to have that game, and I didn't even expect him to play today. So the fact that he played and he had the game that he had, maybe on a normal day it would go to Zach LaVine, but Jevon Carter doesn't get recognition a lot because he doesn't play a lot. So when a game like this comes around, it only feels right to give it to him. We got to be better against the Bucks. No more excuses. Got to be better. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.